Good afternoon, guys. It's that time of the evening again where we're about to head back on stream for a new video. And I got a little bit of exciting news for you guys. So recently, I bought a racing wheel, which I promised I said I would. And I did an unboxing video for that, and I didn't finish the video, so I'm gonna try to make another video where like I'm using the wheel and then getting a little bit of like, you guys see how I'm driving with it a little bit, and try to get some footage of me like playing the game with the wheel so you guys can get an idea of it. So with that being said, yeah, we're gonna tonight I'm not gonna be playing the game with the wheel because I'm still getting used to it. So for tonight I will be just using my controller, and I think I'll be using my controller until the end of the Grand Prix season, which is in Abu Dhabi, because I want to get used to driving with the wheel first before I say, okay, let me hop on stream with the wheel. And I also got to figure out how I'm going to use my mic while streaming as well too. I got to figure that out as well too, because there's nowhere on the wheel that says, oh, you gotta plug in this, you gotta plug in for mic. That doesn't exist. So I have to find a way how to do that. So with that being said, yeah, let's get right to it. We're in Azerbaijan and heading into practice. This is a 60-minute practice session, so I might try my best to give as much lap as I can for the time being, and also for the future for any other like games. I'm gonna try to do 30-minute sessions instead of 60, but it all depends on like where the longest lap is, which is the longest session is 26 laps, and when it gets to like the longest session, the practice sessions are always like 60 minutes. So I'll try my best to make it less, but if it was less, it would have been like 18 laps, and that's gonna be boring fast, real fast. Okay, I guess I have 5 minutes of replay before I go out on track.
If you get too hot in there, there's a problem with the cooling system, and it's going to take us a few minutes to correct it.
Was not expecting this, but I guess with the 60-minute time, I don't mind, because I'll let it sit then if that's the case. Yep, 5 minutes and counting to repair my car.
Okay, here's something to consider about Baku. Take extra care at the right-hander at turn 4 and the left at 8 that takes you uphill. Both of these are tight corners with deceptive runoffs. It's very easy to miss your braking point.
Fair point. That is a very fair point, honestly. Very much so, fair point. So what I'm gonna do is just let this timer run out, and then I'm gonna head out for practice, and then after this I will try to do, let's say 9 laps, and then like after like 9 laps or so, I'll try to go 9 laps. If I don't go 9, I'll do 8 laps and pit on the 9, and then do a race practice or a race program, I mean to say. And hopefully by then the time will slowly drop down. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully by then it goes down. So with that being said, let's just chill for the next 4 minutes. While this thing counts down, I might just switch to see who's out on track, and then when that time is finished, I'm gonna head out to drive in Baku, and I might explain to y'all a little bit about a corner the famous corner on this track that we all know as F1 fans, and we all know that one specific driver who crashed in that corner. If you know, you know. But if you don't, I'll explain to you guys when I get to the corner or get near it. So I'm gonna get back on mic in about 3 minutes time. Alright, it's time for me to head out and get some practice in. I'm gonna do a drive out and then, yeah, go from there.
Okay, when you're ready, let's go.
Welcome to Azerbaijan, guys, or in this case I like to say welcome to Baku. This is a city in Azerbaijan, by the way, guys. I don't know, in the last couple of years driving this track, or in the last year or two driving Formula 1. Whoops, hold on. Sorry guys, I had to just really disconnect something really quick. My race wheel got connected, so it was, I'm thinking it was in drive, because I had it connected still, so I started turning when I wasn't using it. I can try and use it, but I don't know if it would work because of the I'm using the controller. But the controller is mostly for the audio, so you guys can hear me, but I might look into that as well and see. Because I think I saw videos of it somehow. But I'm gonna have to look into it and figure it out and see how it works. Oops. Okay, so I didn't really go through the corner. I went through the corner, but I didn't explain it because I bumped myself through the corner. But when I go around for my actual lap, hopefully I'll do a better drive. It feels so weird going back to controller now because I drove the track already for first practice, which I did off stream. I used the racing wheel to drive practice, and I low-key feel like my lap times were so much faster. But let's see what my lap time is. Because I did a 144 with the racing wheel. So let's see what I do with the controller. Yeah, it's a lot better than the wheel is a lot better than using the controller. Like even now, like my arm feels boring because I'm not feeling no force feedback. I'm feeling a little force feedback from, like, you know, what little vibration the controller gives, but with the wheel you feel more force feedback. So this is the famous corner that Charles Leclerc crashed in, right into that barrier that said Amazon, and he crashed there in a real life race, real life Grand Prix, and he also crashed there in F1 2019. So not only that he crashed in the same corner twice, he did it virtually and in real life. The irony was too funny, and he called himself stupid when he crashed in real life, but when he did it in game, he just looked at the camera like he know what he did. That's one of the most famous stories to come out of Baku, and also another famous story in Baku is Daniel Ricciardo crashing into Max Verstappen. There's a couple other stories there for the track, but okay, so my lap time with the controller is a 142. So I'm like 2 seconds faster with my controller. But I guess because I'm still messing with the settings on the racing wheel, I didn't really have like drop of a lap time. So I guess when I change some other things also, it might drop as well too. So but with the wheel I have more rotation spin than with the controller. With the controller I only have 180, with the racing wheel I have 400. And also guys, and I know a lot of people are saying this, but I actually switched the clutch pedal with the brake pedal for F1. So because the clutch pedal was more stiff and better for, like, you know, braking, I switched it out for the clutch pedal. So I switched the clutch pedal to the middle and the brake pedal in the at where the clutch is, because it's easier for me. The clutch pedal, when you switch it to brakes, it's better to press. But for the future, as in like, I think by the end of this season, right, I will see how I feel, let's say, after Singapore. If I feel confident enough with the wheel, and after all the driving practice I have with it, and getting used to it, I will see if I can use it to drive in Abu Dhabi and find a way to keep my audio and use the wheel instead of the controller. Going through that corner with the wheel has so much tension. It even through this fast turn here, there's so much tension here with the wheel. Yeah, especially that one. But yes, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will be doing a unboxing video slash small clips of me playing Formula 1, and maybe another small clip of me playing F1, not F1, Need for Speed Heat, and then I will merge them together, and then I will post it on the gaming channel so you guys can see how it looks with me using the wheel and get an idea of what kind how it looks like when I'm driving in game. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I will be going a little bit quiet because I'm talking a little bit too much now. Let you guys enjoy Baku, enjoy the rest of the few laps, and then by the 8th lap, which I said I'll pit in on the 9th, so enjoy.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Yeah, guys, I decided to pit early because it's frustrating driving around this track. Especially, I'm not even getting good lap time. Excuse me. Especially, I'm not even getting good lap times. My lap time is just red. So, like, my delta time is just red, so I decided to come in the pits early. Which is fine. But I will be heading out on a race program.
Right, so our best lap so far, 1 minute 42.9.
Okay, not bad. Really not bad. So what I'm gonna do is head out on a race strategy, and then from the race strategy head to the head from the race strategy head to the
Okay,
pits.
so I just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre usage.
So
We're going to have
let's
to
see.
give 2 sets back at the end of this session, so they'll be unavailable for the rest of the weekend. We're going to hand over the 2 most worn sets, so don't ruin the tyres that you might want to use later.
So basically you're telling me keep my tires so I don't destroy them, because I'm gonna need tires for the race. Yeah, that's nice. I have 8 sets of softs, 3 sets of medium, and 2 sets of hards.
Okay, we're 20th in the speed trap, 313.8 kilometers per hour.
Okay, I'm number 1. Okay, say less. Okay, bet. So yeah, let's do it.
The car settings screen on your multifunction display will allow you to change various settings as you drive. Open the display with the MFD button, and you can then navigate up and down to the setting you want to change.
So yep, I'm gonna head out, do race strategy, and then I might do this one after and let the time burn down. And I might do it a few more laps as well too. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, we need a few solid laps here to help us calculate a good race strategy.
I will try something really quick, so let me pause the game really quick and then I'll try something. If you guys can still hear me, I don't know, so I'm gonna try something I had to just like go out the screen for a second and then come back. I am going to try something. Let's see if it works. So as you guys can't really tell right now, I am actually, instead of using the controller right now, I'm actually using the wheel. Because I switched it, that's why I went out. That's why I stopped and went out for a bit. Because I'm actually using the wheel as we speak. I reconnected back for the practice. Feels nice using it in practice, to be honest. It's giving me a good way to get used to it. Ooh, wheel feels good through this corner right here. Look at all that wheel spin. So I'm also testing two theories right now. So as you guys can see, I'm using the race wheel and I'm also using the controller just so the audio, so you guys can hear me in game as well too. So instead of me just streaming with no audio, you guys can still hear me while I'm using the wheel. Alright, let's do it. Feels good. Really good. Working like a charm. Oops. A little bit too much turn there, went a little bit wide. But thank God this doesn't reflect my actual delta time yet, but someone had a really nasty lock up in front of me. I don't even know who it is.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done. Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Understood. Stopping this lap. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm just here doing these 2 extra laps with the wheels. I can get a little bit of accustomed to driving it. Feels good. Yeah, guys, that was fun. That was definitely fun. I enjoy using the wheel while using the controller. The controller is more for the audio, and using the wheel to actually drive. That's pretty fun. So, what I'm gonna do next is basically, let's see, I'm basically controlling all settings off the wheel right now, so let's see. There's 20 minutes left in the session. I got put into P2, but for qualifying, I'm gonna use the controller, and then for the practice,
Right,
I
our
will.
best lap so far, 1:42.9.
For qualifying, I'll use the controller, and then for the part of the race, I'll try to use the wheels to see how it feels driving in a Grand Prix race, like in an actual race, not like because I didn't get to do that yet, and when I did, I didn't get to do it on like a good track. I did it in Montreal, but I was still learning how to drive the wheel, so I didn't do it properly.
313.8 kilometers per hour.
So with 19 minutes left, let's head right into doing the next track thing, so which is this. So let's head out and do that real quick. Let's do a flying lap, and let's head out. Feels good to have pedals, man. It really does feel good to have pedals. I'm getting used to the pedals, so it feels good.
Okay, your goal is to get through as many corner gates as quickly and precisely as possible. Remember to activate your DRS in the DRS zone as well.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Enjoy these last lap, guys, and I feel like I might have to do all 3 of them. I'm not getting a perfect lap right away with the steering wheel, but if I do, I don't know what that says about me. Let's see. Let's hope I can get all of them perfect.
We're approaching the DRS zone. Watch your MFD for the activation point.
Yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Whoever just joined, thanks for joining the stream. Hope you guys will be enjoying. And in about 15 minutes time or so, we'll be heading to qualifying. I'm not doing so bad right now. I'm doing very good. It might be perfect on the first lap, but let's not jinx it. Knocked on the wood just to be safe right there. And there it is. Was to be expected in that corner. Yep, I was expecting that corner to be some kind of crazy corner. With these things, that corner is like a very high-speed corner for me, and it's like one of my worst corners on this track. So yeah, I have to do a second one. I kind of figured when I get to that corner how tight and fast it is with these things. It makes sense that would happen, because you see here, these ones are easy. Whoa. Oh, my lack of steering was non-existent. My lack of steering there was really bad. Screwed up really bad in that corner. Let's try this again. I got the ends one, but I guess I do need more practice on track with this. Whoops. Alright, let's focus up.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage. The numbers. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yeah, guys, I'm screwing around a little bit too much with the wheel, so this is what's happening. Why do you guys see me spinning like this? I'm screwing around too much with it. Yeah, I'm screwing with it too much. Yeah, I was screwing around a little bit too much there. Trying to have some fun messing with the wheel, trying to drift. So yeah, I think I'm gonna let the timer go down, and then from that, we're gonna head right into qualifying. So alright, stay tuned guys, and I'll see you guys probably at the end of this practice session, which is like 8 minutes left in it, and then after practice session is qualifying. So I'm excited to head into quali, so stay tuned guys. So enjoy whoever is out on track, and then yeah, we will come back after 8 minutes. So enjoy the last 8 minutes, and then after these 8 minutes I will be back, and then it's straight to quali.
And that's it. Practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye.
All right, guys, let's go. That's the end of practice 1. I am in P2. Not so bad for the end of practice 2. So with that being said, let's head right into qualifying, and then let's hit it into the race. And it is 26 laps for the race, I believe. So let's head right into Q1. Hopefully I can get some more laps in Q1, so should be fun. Ooh, that went up. I'm assuming my thing went up as well. Okay, it didn't move. It didn't even budge. That's funny. Yep, let's head into qualifying and the race. I'm excited for this. And yeah, guys, so this should be fun. Alright, let's head into qualifying. So for this purpose of qualifying, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it at 55, and then for the race I'll put it at a 58 and see what happens. If that's too much, then I might potentially lose the race. So, but for qualifying, I'm leaving it at 55.
It is a truly unique layout. Welcome to Baku and welcome to qualifying.
Let's go. Azerbaijan. Oh, that looks cool from there. Oh man, look at my helmet. It looks so cool. Alright, first lap in Q1. Let's do it. Enjoy the lap, guys.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Okay, mate, our best lap so far, 1 minute 41.3.
Not such a bad lap. 41.3. That is a very decent lap for lap 1 in Q1. Not bad. I feel like no, Max is out. I don't know if he did his lap yet. Let's see. Okay, he's in his lap now, and I think he just crossed the line because he's in 3rd place. Yeah, he did cross the line. He's in 3rd.
We're 18th in the speed trap, 329.2 kilometers per hour.
So you're basically telling me right now Albon has the fastest 3rd sector? How? No one in the top 5 or like even the top like 3 has the 3rd fastest sector. That's funny. But someone who's in P10 now has the fastest sector. Lando Norris improved his time.
To view information on your current levels of tyre wear and damage, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display, and then again to cycle to the tyres and the damage screen.
Let's just chill and see. Ooh, Max got dropped down to P4. Carlos Sainz is in P2. Whoa. What's happening here?
Okay, the circuit's clear at the moment. We're good to go. find yourself getting understeer, then you're not getting enough grip from the front tyres. It could mean the car isn't being allowed to lean on the tyre, possibly caused by a front suspension that's too stiff, or maybe the front wing isn't producing enough downforce. Right, so far, our best lap, 1:41.3.
Guys, so let's see if we have to go back out on track. I doubt it. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's try to do an improvement lap and head back out on track after and head back into pits if it doesn't go according to how I want it to. So let's try and see if we can get an improvement lap here, but if I can, then when I come back around I'm not even going to go across, I might not just head back into the pits. So let's see how it goes.
1 minute to go.
Yep, it didn't go according to how I wanted to go, so that is it. Just gonna head into it. So didn't need to, so I didn't even need it because it didn't make a difference anyway. So max is P5, which is crazy. So let's see who is out in Q1. So out in Q1 we have Drogue Wanyu in a Kicksaba in P20, Valtteri Bottas in another Kicksaba in P19, Logan Sargent in a Williams in P18, Kevin Magnussen in a Haas in P17, and Daniel Ricciardo in a V-Carb in P16, and Esteban Ocon. And then for the next group heading into Q2 is Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Nico Hulkenberg, Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and myself. Let's head right into Q2, and let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can keep the same gap in between. Alright, let's head out for the first lap in Q2 and see if I can get the same gap as I did in Q1.
Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining. Okay, we can take you this lap. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
How many seconds? There's 7 minutes. Okay, I'm actually right under me, and the gap is only 142. Cause okay, the gap is 950.
Right, so our fastest lap currently 1 minute 41.2.
The gap is 959. Because my lap time is 141.2, his lap time is 142.2. Oof. And I see Lando Norris has the fastest third sector. Or is that Carlos Sainz? Might be just, yeah, no, it's Carlos Sainz.
To view your current tyre, brake and engine temperatures, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display, and then press it again to cycle through until you reach the temperature information screen. Okay, track's quiet right now. Let's get out there while it's clear. I know the team back at the factory have put in a lot of hours getting the car ready for you this weekend, so let's repay them with a really strong performance. We're 15th in the speed trap, 330.4 kilometers per hour. So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, our best lap so far, 1:41.2. To view current strategy and race objectives, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display.
Alright guys, so that's the end of Q2. So let's head into Q3. So let's see who is out in Q3. So out in Q2, I meant to say. Yep, out in Q2, we have Nico Hulkenberg in a Haas in P15, Yuki Tsunoda in a V-Carb in P14, Pierre Gasly in an Alpine in P13, and Esteban Ocon in another Alpine in P12, and Oscar Piastri in P11 in a McLaren. Wow, very surprising he got out in Q2. And in Q3, for the top 10 shootout for pole position, you have Lewis Hamilton, Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Lance Stroll in P3 in the top 10 in Q3. What is happening here? And then you have Max Verstappen and myself. So I'm curious to see where Lance Stroll qualifies for the race. But P3 heading into Q3. That's crazy. This game is shocking me every day, every time I play, man. Especially Lance Stroll. He's shocking me more and more. Stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, let's head right out for Q3, lap 1, and hopefully get pulled and stay on pole. And I see rain, and this is not a good sign.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Okay, so DRS is still open, so I'm good. If the rain doesn't affect the DRS, then that means I'll still be fast.
They're sitting in 7th. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. They're sitting in 7th. Right, their best lap time, 1 minute 43.9. Understood. Stopping this lap. So this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. Right, so our best lap so far, 1:42.4.
Guys, I don't think I might need to go out for improvement lap, but let's see what happens when time goes on. If I don't need it, then I'm good to go for a race start on pole for the race. So, and there's 26 laps. What time is it? Hopefully, yeah, I should be done around like 11, like 10 something, just before 11 o'clock. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm hoping I don't need an improvement lap at all.
qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Okay, so because of the rain, nobody went back out on track, and everybody stayed where they were, and Max is in P7. Wow. Okay. This should be an interesting race. I'm going to do the race, and then after the race, yeah, maybe take a quick nap, and then chill out for a bit. Yeah, no. A little bit tired, but that's okay. So let's head right into the race start. So like I said, I'm gonna switch it to 58, and then after I put it to 58, I will hope that adds to the race, because this right, I want a little bit of aggressiveness for this race, so hopefully that should work out. Let's see what happens.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Henry lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Russell, Leclerc, Albon, Verstappen, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Sargent, Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. Okay, the start so important. Tell us about how you ace a launch off the line.
The drivers these days, they practice, practice and practice. They have rigs with them at the circuit where they can sit down with the actual steering wheel from the real car, and they've got lights that they react to. The clutch paddle is tailored around the driver's hands, around their fingers, so they can have optimum position before they start. So there's so much thought and effort that goes into getting these cars off the line.
Here we go then. The formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 7.8 seconds. Okay, mate, I love to see a bit of aggression, but not like this, mate. Come on, let's keep it clean. Gap to your teammate behind, 8.7 seconds. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 8.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're sitting in 7th. Time last lap, 1 minute 45.5. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. We're approaching the pit window now and you're going to be on hards next time. Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down. Push now, we're boxing this lap. Gap to your teammate behind, 10.1 seconds. Okay, mate, right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this. Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Your pit window's now open. Pit window is open. Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed. Here's some information on Russell for you. They've got some kind of mechanical problem. Okay, don't worry about that target for now. Let's just focus on this pit stop. Okay, go, go, go. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Max is coming in for his stop. Okay, gap ahead, 3.1 seconds. Tyre condition still looking good. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Norris is behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. And 11 laps to go. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 13.0 seconds. Okay, so all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. First position, front of the pack, Norris behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Okay, 7 laps to go. Okay, some information on Ricciardo. They're retiring from the race. Caution, caution. Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Okay, clear. Leading the pack, that's P1. Norris is behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Come on, just 3 laps to go, 3 laps. Gap to your teammate behind, 0.2 seconds. Turbocharger's on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum. Final lap, final lap. Push, push. Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic. Amazing, you deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today.
A great display of dominance today by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
yeah, guys, so I'm happy that my racecraft went up. So that's great. And my rating went up a little bit, so let's see what else happened. I'm not too sure if we got the constructors. I believe that's what we won. I don't think I got the trophy yet because I need a few more races for me to be able to have the trophy. Or to say I won the trophy and Max lost the driver's trophy, so let's see what happened. So I'm gonna go back to the main menu and check the standings, or the page where you can see the trophy and the constructor trophy and the drivers championship trophy, and I'll see which one is highlighted. So the next track that we'll be heading to is Singapore, guys. So let's check out this stuff. Let's see. So this part, no, I gotta fix this. So yeah, like I said, it was a constructive trophy. As you guys can see on the screen, Red Bull has officially secured the constructor World Championship trophy for Red Bull. We've got that, but I haven't secured the Drivers World Championship trophy yet, so that is up next. Hopefully in maybe like, let me see, maybe 3 more races. Maybe when I get to Mexico, I'll get it, or even Brazil. So it's between Texas, Mexico, and Brazil. So let's see which one I get it at. So with that being said, let's head right into this, and I will see you guys next time for sure for the next race. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I did. Had a little bit of a different experience tonight, playing with with a controller and a racing wheel, and the difference was significant. I had to focus a lot more with a racing wheel so I don't spin out or hit the wall too much, and I kind of did hit the wall a little bit too much. But with a street track like this, I feel like it's gonna happen more. So thank you for joining, guys, and hope you guys have a good night or good morning where you guys are. And with that being said, see you guys in the next stream. Have a good night, guys, and peace out.